Hi everybody, this is Dee. I'm with Illinois Worknet, and today we are going to be talking about work experience. If you have not had a chance yet to download the handout, it is in the lower left-hand corner. I apologize, I put work readiness instead of work experience, but it is the work experience handout. And if you haven't had a chance yet, answer our poll questions in the center of the screen. And if you have a challenge hearing on the computer speakers during the course of the presentation, you can dial into the number that is at the bottom of the screen. So we're going to get started, and we're going to do this live today. If you need anything, please type in your questions in the chat pod. We will handle those through the course of the presentation or at the end of the presentation or at breaking points. I'm going to start the presentation by sharing my screen, so I'm going to hide these poll questions here. And give me just a moment while I get my screen fired up for you. And if everybody can see my screen, you should see the SYEP 2014 website. If you can see that, please raise your hand with the little man at the top of the screen. Yay! It always is wonderful when technology works properly. I really like that. So today, helping us with answering poll questions, we have Natasha Telger and Lacey Pollock from Illinois Worknet, and they do a fantastic job every day for everybody that uses the Illinois Worknet system, and I just really want to appreciate them for what they do for us. So today, what we're going to talk about is work readiness, and to do that, we need to get to our SYEP guide. So from the website, at the top of the screen, you see all of the public resources that are available. We have the employer's resources and other resources just available for anybody, news updates, FAQ. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, in the far left-hand corner, we get to the SYEP guide. Just click that link, and you can access that from a computer, from a tablet, or from your smartphone. That will take you to the guide, which you should now see on your screen. And we have all of these resources that we covered in our previous webinars. Today we're going to focus on work experience. Now, one thing that is on the screen right here underneath the archived training webinars is a link for you to check to see if your location information is correct. So everybody that's on the webinar today, after the webinar is done, please go to the website, take a look to verify that your information is correct. And we did take this information from the forms that we got from the meeting in Chicago. So if there's any corrections that need to be made, please do so by emailing info@illinoisworknet.com, and we'll get those corrections made. As soon as we have all of the location information current and up to date, we will get the application active for all of the youth to use. So under work experience, we click on the link, and we get to our guide for any work experience items. In here, we talk about several different topics, and for reference, the PowerPoint presentation that we have has a little bit more detail in the presentation about each of these steps. So you can use that as reference if you need to, or you can come back and watch the archived video once we have it posted on our archived video resource tool. First thing that we need to make sure is that everybody who supervises a youth, everybody who supervises a youth is required to have a background check. One of the main tools that we can use to do a background check is the link on the page, and I'm going off-site to Family Watchdog. So that link will take you there. There's a lot of advertisement on here, so make sure that you don't click on any ads. You can search by name, which in the example I actually put my name in to see what came up, last name, first name, and what state, and or you can search by address. So if you have the person for which you are trying to do the check, you can check by name or address. This at minimum, Family Watchdog at minimum, is what you need to do for a background check. If an organization has something more detailed, that is good, but at minimum you need to have record of having done the background check and when you did the background check. So if you do the background check, just do a print screen so that you have it for the file. Additionally, we have a worksite assessment, and I'm going to open this up in a Word file. And what this does is it gives you an assessment tool that you can use, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so that you might be able to see it a little bit better. But it lets you go to the site and take a look to make sure that their rules are being followed for placing a youth in a work site. It also has items for what kind of conditions. Are they sanitary? Is there accessibility for those with disabilities? And then we have, additionally in that form, is worksite information for the worksite supervisor, a program assessment that the worksite will do on the participant, and then a worker trainee evaluation. So all of that is available in the tool. So as we're looking, again, we have the worksite agreement, which is also available. I'm not going to open up that form because it's an agreement that you will need to have with the worksite that you are having. Also, we will, in the future, if you notice, we have two little asterisks right here. This document will be there, but right now it is just not quite ready to be available. So we can enter employer and worksite information. We can connect youth to work sites. These two items are going to be available once we have all of the applications and the work sites in the system. And then there is access to a youth timesheet. There is an example of the timesheet in your handout. That timesheet may be modified, but we will make sure that we have the most current item here on the guide as we need to. Additionally, part of the process of getting this program into a community employment program is getting those success stories. And what we're going to do is have an option available for all of our youth and our employers. So what I would like to do right now, is just let you know that these will be available, and we're going to be covering this a little bit later in our next webinar. So let's take a break right now and see if there's any questions that we need to answer. It looks like we have a couple of questions that we need some assistance from Tammy, and I do not believe that Tammy is on the call today, so we will get the answers for you. Also, the form for the work sites, if you want to modify the form, you might be able to update that form to make it a little bit better, And we also are going to try to get the form. We discussed this in the DCEO section in the Chicago meeting about getting the form that was used a couple of years ago. So if we can get that form, we will upload that form to the guide as well. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at the uh, the SYEP tools. So we're going to go back to the partner guide. And to sign in to the SYEP tools, we do that from the main page of the partner guide, which is right here at the top of the screen. So we're going to sign into the tools. Now, I'm already signed in, so I'm not going to do that again. But what we'll do here is we'll go to the dashboard. And part of the dashboard is making sure that we have our work sites in place. And part of that is the assessments and work site placement status. And you can get that information right here from the assessments and work site placement status. So if they are placed or not placed, and then placed without payroll entry, all of that information is available here. And as we move forward with this, as we add employers and add placements, we will make sure that that information goes into the system, and you would then be able to see who has work sites and what work sites they have, and all of the information with that work site would go in there. Now, each work site that someone has, so like if XYZ has a location at 123 Main Street, they would also need to add a work site if they have a second place. So if we have, this is second location, and what the phone number is. Oh, I just cannot type with all these eyes watching me. Projected placements at this work site might be 5, for part-time 0, for full-time. We have supervisor background check complete, yes. Date of the background check was today, and you can use it with the calendar or else type it in. Is the worksite agreement in place, and the date of the worksite agreement, what the address is, and what city. I'm going to pick a city. I'm not quite sure if that's the right one or not. And I'm going to just fake a zip code. And who the worksite contact is. So is it an existing contact? Is Woody the Woodpecker going to be the contact for all the work sites? Or is there going to be someone new? Then that way you just add that information there. Add that work site. So then you can very easily assign the youth to the work site. Once the youth is assigned to a work site, it will show up in their profile. Right now I'm going to pull this open just for a second here to show you that right now, until a youth has a work experience assignment, they will see this screen. After they have a work experience assignment, then the information will come up on their profile information as well. We're going to minimize this again. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, we need those success stories. So please help us out by helping to get youth and employers to remember their positive moments and make sure that those are added to our system. All right, let's take a look and see if we have any other questions. And it looks like employer agreements need to be repeated each year. We will ask the CEO, but if you have one from last year, I would not assume that it can be staying in place. I would make the assumption that you do need to create a new one. All right, do we have any other questions right now about anything that we have covered? Right now, the items are in process of being created, so we have some things that just aren't ready to show you. We will cover those items in the technical assistance items, sessions that we are going to be having. Our first one will be next Wednesday, the 25th, so that we can make sure that you understand how these things all will function once they are up and live. So let me show you one more item on here. When we go into the placements, we have a worksite placement. We can add the youth to the placement. Whoops. We don't have any youth in the system right now for me to add to the placement. So I apologize for not being able to show you that, but we will, as soon as that is up and running, we will show you how that actually works in a technical assistance session. And if you want, in the handout, we'll pull this over and show you real quick. This is an example of the timesheet that is currently up. If there are any modifications that need to be done, we will make sure that they are done before you need to use the first form. This is an Excel spreadsheet, and the best part about this is if you enter the date in the first box, let me pull this arrow in. If you enter the date in here, it will automatically fix the dates for each of the 2 weeks, so that if you put in June 23rd, 2014, it will make each of these in consecutive order. That's the best thing about using this Excel spreadsheet. You can prepare them for everybody and print them off and then have it go moving forward. All right, and next, again, we need your stories. Our upcoming webinars are 2:30 today, and then on the 25th, we have our violence prevention webinar, and we will have repeats of all of these programs on July 1st, July 2nd, and July 8th, and take a look at our technical assistance sessions. Okay. We have some questions coming in, and it looks like Natasha is doing a good job answering all of these questions for us. The site is live, but not all of the functionality is in place right now. Some of it is depending upon getting all of the verification done on our locations. And you can add employers if you know that they have all of their information. And we've got a couple of people typing, so I'm going to wait for just a moment to see. While we're waiting, I'm going to pull over a poll question. For those of you who have had programs in the past, what are some of the best types of jobs that you've found that you have placed youth in the past that might be useful for others to consider if they're looking for employers if they're new to the program this year. Great. Summer camps, Park District jobs, activities. Oh, that's nice. Activities in dietary and nursing homes. City Streets Department, school custodians. I've seen a couple of those. Small businesses. Yes, we want to make sure that we are supporting the local businesses, not just government organizations. Retail. Direct service personnel in sheltered workshops. Okay. Looks like we've got some great answers coming in. I like all of those ideas. Libraries, United Way offices, or organizations form the United Way. All right. Great, great, great answers. Does anyone have any additional questions? We are recording this session. We will grab your questions and add them to the FAQ. If we do require an answer from someone else, we will get that answer as soon as possible and post that information to the FAQ. If it's something that we need to demonstrate, we will show you on our next technical assistance, which is June 25th at 10:30 a.m. And remember that you can register for all of the Worknet webinars. I'm going to move this presentation out of the way so that you can see the screen live again. You can register for webinars at on the guide, on the partner guide, by going to the training and webinar registration. Oh, thank you. Thank you for moving that. All you have to do is click on here, and it takes you to our Eventbrite page where you can register for any of the upcoming webinars. So if you want to register for all of them all at one fell swoop, you can do that with you. I'm sorry, you can do that all at one time. And if you need to look at the frequently asked questions, again, you can go back to the guide, click on the frequently asked questions, take a look at the information. If you don't see your question and answer, you are more than welcome to click on the box to the right, ask your question, and submit it, and we will work on getting an answer for you. Okay. All right, we've got some stuff going on about the application. As soon as we have verified all of the sites with the information that you submitted, we will try to get that application up and online, and we will send out a notification to all of the providers that is up and active. Again, with the guide, you can access it from the bottom of the page. And on the right-hand side, underneath the archived training webinars, is the link where you can check to see if your information is correct. All right. Do we have any other questions? It looks like Tammy is typing. I think she's finishing up a conversation that was going on in the chat. Do we have any other questions? Okay, Tammy, we're going to have to, oh, Natasha just answered you. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to end our recording because it looks like we've got all of our questions answered that we can answer online right now. We'll see you back at 2:30 for the reporting, the payroll and reporting webinar. So have a great time for the next hour. We'll see you back. Thank you.